Shavua Tov. Baruch Hashem, we start now the Elul session of the Mosei Shabbat and the Slichot. שיהיה רצון שיהיה לכולם שנה טובה ומבורכת. And today the house of Nisan and Malka is a very happy day. The sister of Malka, she had a baby boy today, who was a Brit. They named the child Nathaniel. זכות לא יודעת. יהיה רצון שיהיה בפה ובמיני בושה, שיהיה בשורות טובות. מיכאל, נסיעה טובה. חצבת אף תבית, משה יפגור בתוכנו. So, I'd like to welcome Ora and Eugene too. They would like to join our new welcome. ברוכים הבאים בהצלחה. Concerning your wedding בעזרת השם. There is a custom to learn on Chodesh Elul and Aseret Yemei Teshuvah one part of the Zohar HaKadosh, which is called Tikkunei Zohar. What is the Tikkunei Zohar? As you know, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, he spoke against the Roman government and somebody was already telling to the government, and the verdict was that he has to be executed. So, Rabbi Shimon and his son Rabbi Eliezer, they ran away to a cave in the north of Israel, in the city by the name Ki'in. And they were hiding there for many years. And every day, morning and evening, they had a very special teacher, Eliyahu Hanavi, the prophet himself. He used to come and used to teach them. One of the secrets that he taught them was the 70 different explanation of the word Bereshit. And today I'm going to learn with you the 14th Tikkun of the Tikkunei Zohar, and I will try to explain it. If somebody is not acquainted with the learning of the Zohar, it will be difficult because we're talking about symbols, and we have to understand where the symbols comes or how they connect things spiritually. In order to understand it, you have to learn the whole Shas by heart and the whole Torah Shebaal Peh. Then when they talk between themselves, they have all kind of shortcuts and codes you have to understand. So I will try to simplify it, and if you didn't understand, not the end of the world, it's just the beginning. But I think we're going to make it okay with Hashem. The 14th Tikkun of the Zohar, it says the following: Bereshit alei itmar reshit. It talks about, in the word Bereshit, there is the letter Bet, which represents the number 2, and Reshit, which means in Hebrew, beginning. Rosh is mean head. Reshit, beginning. Beginning of something. On the Zohar level, the word Reshit refers to a very high level of Sphira, a spiritual station, which is called Chokhmah. According to the Kabbalah, when God created the world, in order not to bring the blessing in one shot, and from the happiness of the blessing, people just going to die loud. So Hashem created 10 levels, which called 10 Sphirot. And the blessing go from one level to other, and slowly became more and more materialized until they come to our world. Because in the world of souls, in heaven, there is no any kind of material thing. In the philosophy, it's called Metamorphosis. When energy become material and material become energy. One of the explanation of the Maimonides, just to give you understanding what I mean, it says that when Moses is coming from heaven with the 2 tablets, it says, "V'aluchot ma'aseh Elokim," the tablets were spiritual. And when Moshe Rabbeinu is going down and down and down, so the Maimonides days become heavier and heavier. When it's come to the Mount Sinai, it was heavy, it's still tolerated. But when you saw Am Yisrael doing the golden calf, and it's going even lower, it became so thick and so heavy that it could not handle it anymore. So in a way, according to the Rambam, like I said, it's not that Moshe Rabbeinu broke the tablets. It was the coming down was too deep, and it just could not tolerate it anymore. So we try it happened like this. But this is the way of looking at it, just to explain what is the meaning of Sfirot over here. So we have over here in the word Bereshit the word two beginnings. But now there is a question over there. I don't know. They say that all kind of old people came to learn with Rabbi Shimon in this cave, so it's something very spiritual. And he says that they bring a pasuk in Sefer Shmot, chapter 23. ראשית ביקורי אדמתך תביא בית השם אלוקיך, לא תבשל גדי וחלב עמו. What the pasuk says? The mitzvah of bringing the first fruits, the first harvest, to bring to the temple in Yerushalayim. It's called Bikurim, first. And the Torah links it to the violation of eating meat and milk together. And the Gemara and the Zohar Kadosh over here is questioning why the Torah links the first gift together with the meat and milk. What is the connection? So, see what it says over here. My high legabe high. What is the connection between what, Shlomo? Bikurim. V'gdi v'chalev. Come Rabbi Shimon al Ragloi. Rabbi Shimon stood up on his feet and says, Eliyahu Hanavi, we need you. So Rabbi Shimon is calling Eliyahu Hanavi. And he says, V'anir enayu, and explain them what is the connection. Now there is a word over here that I don't think I will explain it this time, maybe another time. Shelo yitun lemechal basar v'chalav. I don't want them to make a mistake to eat meat and milk together. This is not the question, by the way. The question is, what is the connection between Bikurim, the first harvest, and basar v'chalav? So the Zohar says, Hadachi Eliyahu Hanavi came. Eliyahu Hanavi approached to this cave, to the Beit Midrash, and he said to Rabbi Shimon, the holy light, this is the same secret of the violation not to plow your field with ox and donkey together. There is another violation in the Torah. We're not allowed to take an ox and a donkey together to put them in order to plow the field. It's called hybrid. As Umer, the same thing, we're not allowed to plow in the field with the ox and a donkey. Same thing, we are not allowed to eat meat and milk together. Rabbi Shimon said to Eliyahu Hanavi, Rabbi, I don't understand. What do you understand? He says, an oxen is a kosher animal. A donkey is a not kosher animal. I understand to put kosher or not kosher, it's a question. But the milk is kosher, and the meat is kosher. Why do we still call it hybrid? You get the question? So, Eliyahu Hanavi is answering, Because the Torah says, תוצא הארץ נפש חיה למינה. The Torah says that you have to, everything that God created, He created with its same kind. There are something which can go together and not go together. Therefore, לא טוב אשר גבי בחלל עמו. And Rabbi Shimon says, very good, now I understand the difference. But I don't understand what he says. What is the question that we ask? What is the question that we ask? The question is, why to connect the first bikurim, the first harvest, to basar v'chalal? And now, let's start to explain you what it says over here. For this, I will start to, we believe in Judaism that the way that we believe that our world exists, as opposed to all the other worlds that God created. Our world over here exists in, it's called dualism. There is good and bad, right and wrong. And in our world, there is holiness and there is a spiritual contamination, and it goes together. It goes to two. No. Any other dimension that we create is illusionary. So, and in order to ask you to explain you, I will ask you a different question. And we'll start from the Gemara in Masechet Baba Metzia, Daf Pei. The Gemara says the following. Eliyahu Hanavi now is an angel. He comes. He says that once Eliyahu Hanavi came to the Beit Midrash as a human being, and they asked him a question, how can we bring the Mashiach now? Omer Eliyahu Hanavi, the student, the Rabbi Chia with his two children, if they are going to be Shlichei Tzibur now, they can bring the Mashiach. They have so much power to bring the Mashiach. The rabbi heard it, he said, no problem. Because everybody, now let's say a big prayer. Who is Shliach Tzibur? Rabbi Chia, with the children, start Ashrei. And they start to pray. Ashrei Shvei Betecha, say Kaddish, and they pray Tfilat Shmonayis. Then they start the Chazara. They say, Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechamed Arav Loshia, Mashmashiv Baruch, Morid HaGeshem, boom, thunderstorms. Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed. Now it has to come to Bechaya Ametim. And in heaven, it said it was a big thing. Who told them this kind of things? The time didn't show. So in 1 million of a second, they sent one big bird, midvir, dove, to the Beit HaMidrash. He invaded the Beit HaMidrash, he broke the door, people saw him, they were so afraid, and the Kavanah was nullified, and the Mashiach did not come. It was in seconds. Then the Gemara says that they're asking, who gave permission to Eliyahu? Don't give permission. And they said that they punished Eliyahu Hanavi. They gave him 39 lashes. I'm asking you a question. He is an angel. We know that angel, as opposed to human being, do not have any freedom of choice. How Eliyahu Hanavi, he did something that he cannot? Huh? No, he was punished. It's mean he didn't do it. Huh? Oh. Shabori say very simple. Hashem sent him to get lashes. It's a pure masochism.
Something went wrong.
What went wrong? In order to explain the Boris, I tell you the Boris another story. It says, Bereshit, B'Yalkut Shimoni, on Sefer Bereshit, listen, a very sad story. When Hashem created the world, two angels came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And they told him, they said, Ribono Shel Olam, you know that human being is a headache. You don't have to create him. Hashem created a human being and they start to make a lot of violations. ואז אמרו, the two angels, Azza and Azael, they came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and told him, Ribono Shel Olam, we told you when you created the human being, מה אנוש תזכרנו. אמר להם ריבונו של עולם, היינו מסתפקים בו. אמר להם, גלוי וידוע לפניי שאם אתם שרויים בארץ, שולט בכם יצר הרע. If you go to the world, you're going to be even worse than that. והייתם קשים מבני האדם. They told him, give us permission. He gave them permission. And they say, give us permission, we're going to see how much you are going to Mekadesh Shem Shamayim. You're going to be very pure. Amar lahem, go. They came down to this world, miyad kilchilu, they violated immediately. מזל טוב, סנדק ראשון. כן. פה עבודים ינהיגו שאליהו הנביא. בטח יגיד אליהו הנביא. So, we see that they gave them, Hashem gave them permission, they came and they violated. Thank you. But my question is, but they are angels. I want to shout to Boris. It doesn't matter wherever you are. When you come to this world, you are in the system of freedom of choice. No exclusive. Doesn't matter you are angel, human being. Over here, you are under the freedom of choice. And people get rewarded and punished. No exceptions. And they, our world is a freedom of choice. אומר רבי שמעון, בראשית, בית ראשית. Two beginnings. You have to choose what do you want. So beautifully, Boris say now that all of us, we're looking the third way, the fourth way. I want to be close to Hashem, but you know, I need a break too. I'm going to do this, but you know, over here I want to take a shortcut. We are looking for the third way. The problem of the third way doesn't exist. It's your imagination. It's your illusion. I'll tell you a very sad story that happened in our community. There was a lady that unfortunately I had to separate her because she was not honest with her husband. Unfortunately. But when she got to take the divorce, she told me that she became Shomer Shabbat. She keeps Shabbat. So I told her, how can you keep Shabbat and destroy a family? You know what was her answer? The person that seduced her is Shomer Shabbat. So she promised him to keep Shabbat. Very loyal person. You understand what is the mind of this person? This is what we call Lo teva shel gdi b'chalei limod. They take meat and milk together, make for one big treif. ראשית בקורי אדמתך, תביא בית השם אלוקיך. The other understanding is when it's come to your mind, you have ability to lie to yourself and say, what I am Shomer Shabbat. No. This is not what I'm talking about here. When it's come to your thoughts, to the Reshit, to Sfirat HaChokhmah, it has to be pure. It has to be one. You cannot have shortcuts. You cannot have all kind of, I do this, but I do this. It doesn't work like this. It has to be a decision. And it's a very difficult question that it's happened all over our life about what to do and what not to do. What? Only tzedakah can test him. But again, the tzedakah should be because he wants to give tzedakah. When it's come to the Reshit, the beginning, it has to be so pure. Huh? מתוך שלא לשמה, 90% will not make it. Because we just spoke about it. We and I, we prepare a couple now that have to get married. They're not ready to get married, but they live in their illusionary world. They're ready for getting married. We know ahead they're going to have problems. We cannot prevent them. They're not ready. They don't know why it's getting married. So if it's not good from the beginning, it just will happen. The excitement will take 6 months. And then they're going to live with the character, and then it's a problem. They are not ready. הראש עוד לא מוכן. She doesn't understand that to get married, she has to... No, she said to me, so I'll suffer, what's the big deal? So, she starts in order to... You don't marry somebody in order to suffer and to be close to Hashem. It's a medical problem, mental problem. You are married because you believe that this person is going to make you happy. She starts her life, so I'll suffer, what's the big deal? It won't last. Oh, the husband, the way that he imagines his wife, he's telling me how much, use the word, I'm teaching her how to be a better person, which is the translation of full control. I told control freak is not good in marriage life. He said, I will teach her. You know my famous joke. When I went to buy the first car in America, I went to New Jersey, so there is one lane over there as is. You don't get no returns, no rejections, as is. So I say, this is marriage life. You get it? No changing, no nothing. Just accept it. So when it's come to the Reshit, Omer HaZohar HaKadosh, even two kosher thoughts, if it's not bind together, it's become treif. Huh? How do you bind two good things together? Let's say I have one of my students, Baruch Hashem, is going to be 60 next month, and he's still not married. And he told me I couldn't find the right one. And he gave me 1 hour explanation why I cannot trust nobody in the world today. And he's right, and he's wrong. Because the Sfirat HaChokhmah, the Torah tells you have to do it, even if you're worried. But nobody's asking you. Trust, something that you have to work years to build it. But it's not a condition. But when you rationalize it for me, it makes a lot of sense. You understand when it's come to Reshit, how it works. Because Reshit is something totally, Sfirat HaChokhmah is something totally different. Sfirat HaChokhmah is how the will of Hashem is implemented to my life without no my inside of this. You get me?
Without?
My input.
Yeah.
That's all. That's Sfirat HaChokhmah.
No, you started, what was the sefer? I should understand.
Sfirat HaChokhmah means, according to the Kabbalah, Sfirat HaChokhmah she accepts from the Keter. It's acceptance. The Keter is the divine thing. Sfirat HaChokhmah is my beginning. If my beginning is going to to channel, is going to send, according to what I understand, I intervene in a divine mission. And then I become basar v'chalal, to become treif, with the best intentions. With the best intention. And in order to explain you, I will teach you something that we have David, so something before David HaMelech. Tonight is David HaMelech too. Welcome. Shekhan, you have to say.
Thank you.
In Hebrew, there are all kinds of words of like or not like people. The worst thing you can say in Hebrew about somebody is say, Ani mo'ez bo. I mo'ez bo means I am disgusted. Yes, I don't like, I don't feel comfortable, it's not the right person, all kind of, but the worst thing you can say to somebody is, ki me'astir. Now, Shmuel HaNavi is a prophet. The Torah equals him to whom? To Moshe and Aaron together. He is the son of a millionaire. He got a lot of money. He lived all his life, not charging the community a penny. He was leading Am Yisrael. The only mistake that his kids do, they were not like him. They couldn't get him. They were punished, not because they are so bad, because they were not like him. Okay, nobody can be like him. But okay. And Shmuel, Hashem asked him to appoint the king of the Mashiach from Yishai family. Shmuel Aleph, Yud Zayin, it says a beautiful story. Yishai goes to, Shmuel goes to Yishai, they're making a korban, and it says over there that Yishai has 8 boys. Divided, we say 7 boys. The first one is Eliav, then Abinadab, then Shammah, and the last one is David HaMelech. David HaMelech is busy, nobody wants him over there, and Shmuel is coming, many people, a lot of קדושה, קורבן, זה, אישה ראש הסנהדרין, כל התלמידי חכמים sitting, and suddenly who is coming? Eliav. Handsome, tall, well-feeling, talit. Shmuel HaNavi, the prophet, he says to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the king of the Mashiach is here. For Shmuel HaNavi, a prophet equal to Moshe and Aaron, Eliab is the candidate. He said, even not have to look for other person, it's him. Amar Melech HaMashiach, it says. Mashiach Hashem. Hashem is telling to Shmuel, hey, human being, you cannot trust you, you cannot trust. So what happened? So Hashem said, I'm disgusted from you. Ki me'astiu. So I want to ask you a question. You can tell him, go to the next one. You can tell him, he's not the best one. You can make 500 words of saying about somebody, but you don't say, Ani mo'ez bo. Why? But what's wrong? You shomer Shabbat, you shomer Kashrut, you wear tefillin. He looks like a Mashiach, he says. Hashem says, Bereshit, Sfirat HaChokhmah Pguma. Whatever comes afterwards, I don't care. But it looks the same. It looks very holy. The prophet saw it. How do you say in Bukhara? How can you say it like this? The son of Rosh Sanhedrin, a big, Me'astiu. Why? Because it says that he was very bad to David HaMelech, the way they spoke to him. Once in his life, he spoke very bad to David HaMelech. It's a whole thing. How can you come to this kind of levels of judgment? And why Hashem is telling this kind of to Shmuel? He's teaching him something. Even Shmuel, בספירת הנצח, שזה 5 levels after ספירת החוכמה, he could not understand the pgam of the chokhmah that Hashem saw. Because even the chokhmah, even the sfirat chokhmah, there is a certain not kosher thoughts, two kosher thoughts, but they are not together, is become basar v'chalal, become treif. Omer Rabbi Shimon בTikkun 14, why do we connect Reshit, Bikurei Admatcha, the Bikurim, to basar v'chalav? At the beginning of the Bikurim, at the beginning, when you try to come to this world, we try to make your accounting. If there is no pure thoughts in Sfirat HaChokhmah, even two kosher thoughts which are not 100% pure, they can become treif. Lama? It's not connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's become you and not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. ואז אנוכי become אני השם אלוקיך. It's not אנוכי anymore, it's אני. In Hebrew, the word אנוכי means me and selfish, the same thing. And this is what is the first explanation, the Tikkun 14, what is called the connection. לכן אומר, רבי שמעון אומר, says to אליהו הנביא, what is the answer? Eliyahu is telling him, it's a hybrid problem. When it's come to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there will not be no compromise, no thoughts. Hashem, you say so, I'm going to do so. And we will take it to before I go to the other, just to make this point stronger, there is a story of the old Rebbe of Chabad. He was telling the story. He said somebody once, they heard that the rabbi is coming and they give a shiur in a place 1 hour from there, and they have to be on time, so they go to one of the coaches over there, one of the Balagula, the one, and they say, we have to go to this city in 1 hour. How much you say? 100? They will give $200, but just make it on time and make it quick. So they say that they're sitting on the couch, on the carriage, and everybody is in a rush. The driver is in a rush, the horse is in a rush, and the students are in a rush. So you see that all of them know that so you say the horse is in a rush to end the journey and to go to eat something. The driver is to get extra $100 bonus. And this took the student to reach to the class. But when you see them, all of them in emotion, and you see, חביבי, תשמע, זה ממש, הכל השם שמיים. זה חושב על האוכל, זה חושב על הכסף, זה חושב על זה. כל אחד, אבל הם ביחד, they're moving together. ועכשיו, אז אומר רבי שמעון, it's very important to know why you are doing it. Is to make Hashem happy or make yourself happy. Very difficult, because we're so much involved in ourselves. As I say to when I give to the grooms before the wedding, the preparation, I say, you don't respect your wife because it's like a partner deal. You give thing, I will give, like businessman. You respect your wife because by being you're respecting the Shekhinah. Not the Shekhinah, the Shekhinah. The problem. And I say to the husband, when you respect the wife, my wife, I say, when you respect your husband, it's not because he's a provider, he's the credit card, and he's the father of children. No. By respecting your husband, you're fulfilling the mitzvah of respecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No other thing. This is the pure thinking. Now you say, how did they tell me? If I respect him, she said, I want him to go. This accounting, treif. Basar v'chalav, treif. Oh, my wife, my niece, and there are all kind of things that it's all cultural thing. The bottom line is that when it's come to the to Sfirat HaChokhmah, if there is any kind of even two thoughts which are pure, but they are not one like what's the wish of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now you can do whatever. You can make mitzvot, you can make Torah, you can do everything. It doesn't go like that. Now, I will take to another part, another understanding, and the Sfirat HaChokhmah, the Sfira שמחברת. ספירה שמחברת. חוכמה, she takes from the Keter and brings to the entire world. And I will teach you over here the Gemara in Masechet Yuma. The Gemara says the following, Daf Yud. They say that in Bet HaMikdash, the second temple, was a very sad incident. You know, the Mizbeach was about, let's say, you have to go, like, it's about 2 floors, about, let's say, 15 feet height. You have to go on the ramp to go on the altar. So somebody is asking help. He said, I need help. So 2 young Kohanim, they're running on the ramp to help. One say, this is my mitzvah. The other say, this is my mitzvah. They are fighting for what? Who will make the mitzvah? Is it good or bad? Excellent. One of them say, no, it's mine. Says, no, it's mine. One of them, because he wants to make so much mitzvot, he took a knife from his pocket and he stabbed him.
Oh my God.
On the temple in Yerushalayim. So of course he got it on his stomach, and he fell down from the ramp to the floor. So the people were shocked. So somebody say, call the father of the boy. You have to take care of the child. So they call the father of the boy. They say, hey, come. So he comes and he sees his child bleeding. So he ran to the child. He take the knife and he say, he's still breathing. The knife didn't become treif. Listen.
That's crazy.
So, אומרת הגמרא, you come to a point that the life of a person is less important of to make tefillah of this night. And this was one of the reasons that we lost the temple. Now, I'm asking you as a side, somebody from the side, what is the murderer, what are intentions? To do a mitzvah.